I'm MisterSaintAmant, and today we're gonna draw ninjas. Oh, that really hurt. Oh.
Oh, chubbicorn.
Okay, now that I feel a little better, let's draw. So this is how I draw ninjas, and you'll see it's very simple. It's like a hot dog shape with a little mask for the eyes, no feet, no fingers, but it looks funny and I like it. But for this demonstration, I will draw a hybrid. So it'll have no neck, but there will be feet and not really fingers, but you'll see a bend in the wrist for some poses. So here we have a first pose. It's going to be just like a ready pose, like the ninja is ready to fight or has been cornered, no weapons, and just going to use martial arts. So you see how the wrists are up there. And I'm going to go ahead and erase that forearm right there so it just looks more 3D. Alright, next pose will be a sword holding pose. So we'll start off with the shape and then the position of the legs. So 1 foot back, 1 foot forward. And then we'll have the ninja holding up the sword in this dramatic way in front of his face. Now while I'm drawing, I'm going to just give you guys some facts about ninjas. I found these on this website called, I think it's Kage Ninja Gear. And it's interesting stuff. So, and by the way, I'm drawing a belt right there. So the ninja has a belt. And then let me just tell you what we're drawing here. So there's going to be a ninja concealing a weapon, about to bring the blade forward. So the ninja's about to strike. We have an arm out there tucked behind the body, and then a little blade coming out right there. And then one leg way in front of the other. You'll see the other leg is further back, so you can just kind of looks foreshortened, and also using a little bit of perspective there, and then erasing those extra lines. Okay, so first fact is, did you know that female ninjas were known as kunoichi, and they were some of the most deadly ninjas of all time, mostly due to the fact that they were frequently underestimated. So people didn't think that a woman could possibly be an assassin, so they were able to get away with a lot more. So in this pose, we have 1 foot forward, 1 leg back, and you can see that hand, there's a thumb there. The hand is coming towards us, so there's some foreshortening there. And then the other hand will be gripping a sword behind his head. And then I'll erase that sword. I like to draw through the form, so there's no disconnect between, like if I drew the sword and then stopped for the head and drew it again, it might look disconnected or disjointed. So always draw through the form. Next pose will be a ninja dramatically jumping, so like a side view. You see I drew a gesture line first, and then I'm going to build the body on top of that gesture line. So we have the torso and the hips, and then the ninja's leaping, 1 leg up, and then both arms back. I draw from like the shoulder. The hands are kind of going back like that. And then of course erase all those lines so the limbs look like they're in front. And then this next pose will be a ninja jumping, more like dodging or leaping maybe on a wall or something. The ninja that we just drew before is leaping up to something. This ninja might be jumping to dodge a sword swipe. Or is jumping over something on a wall. So both feet are close together. It's like a crouching jump. And then the arms are out. Alright, this last one, this is actually going to take up 2 pages. I have a lot of ninjas for you guys. So this last pose on this page is going to be a ninja sneaking, like kind of creeping around. It looks kind of cartoony. Maybe they're pushing down a branch and creeping into a yard or something. Okay, while I'm drawing that, I'm going to tell you another ninja fact. Ninjas often dress to blend in with the locals, and they didn't always kill. Sometimes they simply spied to gather intel. So they would spy on a village or on a magistrate or a shogun and get some information that they would either sell or bring back to their village, or maybe their own shogun if they had a loyalty to another royal family or something. Kind of overlap that leg on the last pose. That's okay. You can kind of see it. All right, new page. First pose will be a ninja jumping, maybe leaping down and landing. And he'll be holding two sais. So they're these fancy looking daggers. So we have the arms, one arm is out, one arm is behind the head. And then we have the legs preparing to land. And you could argue that these could be like the legs are maybe landing on a vertical wall or a slope, or the character is going to land on a horizontal surface, just hasn't landed yet, hasn't touched down yet. So we have the side that drew through the fists, and then the little the hilt, and then the little end of the, I think it's called the pommel, I think, the handle, the end of the handle. Alright. And there you go, there's a ninja jumping with weapons. This next one will be a ninja holding two tanto, which are daggers. They're not like sais, they're more simple. So legs outspread, like a ready position. And this ninja will also have a weapon, like a sword, attached to his back, so there'll be a lot of crisscrossing forms over his body. And how about, speaking of weapons, ninja's unique weaponry is due to a few factors. Weapons had to be easily concealed, so were on the smaller side, and were sometimes made from farming tools because ninjas came from the lower classes. So you'll notice that, like in movies, ninjas have all kinds of elaborate weapons, but for the most part, they had daggers and smaller weapons that they could hide. So you wouldn't often see a ninja with a long sword. It's harder to hide a sword when carrying out an assassination. All right, the next pose is going to be, speaking of swords, this will be a sword pose. Ninja is holding a katana, although katanas weren't really ninja weapons. So one arm crossing the body, and then up holding the end of the sword, and there's a little circle representing the other fist, and then I drew the sword across the body. I mean, it's actually in front of the body, so I can just draw in front of it. And then an elbow, that little corner there is an elbow for the other arm. And then just erase some of those lines, clean it up a little bit. There you go. And then this one is a dramatic pose. I like this one. This is where like the ninja is taking a sword out. So crouching down, maybe just finished bowing to an enemy, or also could be committing seppuku, which is ritual suicide. So when a ninja or a samurai, mostly samurais did this I think, when they failed or when they dishonored their family by breaking a rule that was pretty serious, they would take their sword or a dagger and slice their bellies open and die a horrible death. And that was their only way they could bring their honor back to their family after they had done something wrong. Okay, this one is a ready pose, ninja, just kind of a stylized pose. Ninja's leg is way out here in the front. I didn't draw a toe on that one, though the foot's forward, so I guess I didn't see a need for it. And then we have the toe pointed out, and then one arm kind of reaching down, and one arm just like in a defensive position there, just kind of like a standard ninja pose. It could be a jump too, I guess, but I would poke the leg of the bending leg toe down if it were a jumping pose. Okay, speaking of jumping poses, this one is a jump kick. So I'll have the foot facing forward, so you don't really see the shape of it, and then leg is down. There's the knee and the shin coming back up. And then you'll notice that the pose of this one, I'll draw the arms next here. So we have one arm going down in the front, and that kind of mirrors what's happening with that lower leg. And then in the back you have a bent elbow, and the hand kind of on the hip. So this kind of looks like it looks like an arrowhead in a way, right? like it's like a triangular shape. I don't know. There's some symmetry there, I think. Alright, this next one is a ninja creeping around with a tanto in hand, a small dagger. And I will tell you another ninja fact while I'm drawing this. So ninjas were family oriented, and each family clan taught their preferred techniques to the next in line. So each family had their own way of killing and of carrying out their ninja talents and skills, and so they would train their next of kin. Okay, so the next one is going to be a standing kick. We have the head bent a little bit, leg straight out, foot forward, and then we have a straight leg with a foot back, and then you just have the hands kind of in this like defensive position. There's the face. It's smaller. I apologize. I'm trying to fit all these poses on there for you. All right, then last one, or not the last one. This is another one. We have more to go. We have more space on that paper. This is ninja shooting a bow and arrow. So I'm just going to draw the legs, feet opposite direction, and then the ninja is drawing the bow, so pulling the string back. And then one arm is outstretched, holding the bow. We have the string. It's a small bow, it's not a long bow, because again, if they needed to conceal that, you know, like in a bag or a satchel or something, it'd probably be easier than having a long bow to hide or throw in bushes or something. Alright, next one is a sword, kind of like a defensive pose. You have this ninja leaning back, holding the sword toward maybe some enemy. A lot of weight on that bent leg, and then we have a leg kicked out for balance. And then there's the sword. Just drew a line for the direction of the sword. Bent elbows, holding the sword there. Alright, two more poses for you after this, and one fact for you. So ninjas were reviled in Japanese society, and samurais viewed them as having no honor. So they were not really looked upon very highly in society, with so many rules and honor and, you know, emperors and a lot of wealth in the upper classes. The ninjas were a lower class that would carry out assassinations for political enemies. Alright, so here we have a ninja who is throwing a shuriken, or a ninja star as they're commonly referred to. So just throwing the arm down, ninja star leaving, or a shuriken leaving his hand, and then a little sword on his hip. Okay, this is a special one for you. This is Ninja Demonstrates 7-Hand Defense. Now this is one of my ninjas and one of their moves. My ninjas in Nowhereland, which is a series of mine, that painting and art and comic series that I used to do, and I think I'm going to start doing again. So my ninjas could have multiple limbs to defend. So if there were shurikens or some tanto or some other weapon, they could defend against it. Alright, thanks for watching, you guys, and I hope you enjoyed it.